Good afternoon to one and all present here. Today, we have gathered here for an informative talk on nurturing young hearts for social service towards a better future. Amity Center of Happiness and Bodhi Tree Foundation have come together to conduct this session. Me, Reed Sethi, and my fellow volunteer, Gurleen Sethi, will be giving a brief about the session. We are both interning with Bodhi Tree Foundation as well as Amity School of Happiness. Especially in these tough times, we are working to help and uplift the underprivileged in whatever way we can. We work for the betterment of society and to reach out to those who need us. We will be attaching a link of a form on the chat box. So all those people who are attending this event, please do fill it so we can issue e-certificates for you. In the end of the session, we will have a Q&A round in which you can ask Sir any question you would like to. I would now like to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Deepak Nanda, who is the founder of Bodhi Tree Foundation. Mr. Deepak Nanda is a mechanical engineer having more than 42 years of experience in corporate and development sectors. Sir has served extensively in heavy industries including Escorts, Hero Honda Motors, and SRF for more than 15 years. In development sector, Sir has worked in international NGOs and bilateral and multilateral agencies such as the UNDP, APCTT, and IFC. Sir is an expert in process improvements, cost reduction, and quality management systems. His experience includes prototype development, product commercialization, mass production trainings, low-cost automation, marketing, and project evaluation. Sir is also the lead auditor of ISO quality management systems. With multi-skills corporate sector as well as NGO sector, Sir has successfully infused professionalism into the NGO sector. He's pioneered the application of quality management systems in rural development interventions. He designed and implemented user-friendly management systems in the poultry sector run by rural women groups and promoted by Pradhan. Recently, Sir founded the Bodhi Tree Foundation and heads operations including technical development, corporate affairs, and finance. Bodhi Tree Foundation was founded for the welfare of society and to dedicate themselves into the education of the underprivileged children. It is not about sending the children to schools and make them read some books. The foundation works on building the right foundation and transform their lives. The transformation not only improves the lifestyle of a section of society, but also adds to the foundation of our country. The foundation is slowly spreading its branches with every amazing contribution of its volunteers, and thus the Bodhi tree can nurture and care for all the tiny seedlings successfully. Now, I would like to call my fellow volunteer, Gurleen, to introduce our professor, Dr. Nitin Arora.
Good afternoon, all. Now I'll be introducing Dr. Nitin Arora. So Dr. Nitin Arora is currently a professor of happiness, spirituality, and consciousness at Amity International Business School. So he is the head of Reiki Circle of Excellence for Science of Happiness, Spirituality, and Consciousness. He is also a proctor at Amity University, Uttar Pradesh. He is the editor-in-chief of Amity Journal of Happiness. He is also served associate professor at APIM and TAGUB and in New York Institute of Technology as well. Now he has also worked at Riot and Bahara Group in India for 5 years. So Dr. Nitin Arora has also written like 2 books. The first one being happiness in the same area of happiness and consciousness. The first one being The Pebbles, What More Can I Put in Your Magical Bag in 2019? And his second book is titled Consciousness Puzzles a Father's Gift to His 2 Timeless Daughters. So, and these books have been highly appreciated by Stanford University, USA, and he has also encouraged his students to write and publish these sort of books. And 2 of these books and 210 articles have been published at national platforms. So one more thing about Dr. Nitin Arora, that he is happiness proctor and his fellow colleagues believe that his name, Ozin, also means walking on the middle path. With that being said, let's invite Dr. Nitin Arora, sir, to say a few words to make us all happy.
Thank you, Gurleen and Reed. Deepak sir, first of all, welcome to the MIT platform, and with all my open heart, and I welcome you once again, sir. And my two students, they are doing, I'm encouraging all my students to do something unique whenever opportunity is very difficult. So I'm sure this is the first time that they are doing it, but you will not feel they are doing for the first time, and they are doing a fantastic work. They have been accepted by even you with your good, kind consent that they will be interning with you also under your organization. Sir, this concept at MIT is like we should not just think only about academics. Academics is one part of only intellect, but there is a heart, there is a bigger mind, there is a society, there is a community, there is a world, there is a universe. So there is so many things to be learned, and we should always learn from the people who are in the field, just like you. So I am teaching human values and community outreach at the MIT University. I'm also the head of human values. So all my students, they have to mandatory learn with the NGOs. So with that concept, during pandemic time, we have no other option but to do something online and promote the NGO work and do something online. So this is the beginning which we do with every NGO. So all students who join any NGO, we invite the founder of the NGO to talk with the community, to talk with the students, and then the work will start. So with this intention, sir, we will welcome you, and under this wonderful topic that you have taken, we would like to hear more about your foundation, your work, and with time we will ask some questions also to you, and we welcome you once again, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Please continue, sir. Please take over, sir. Over to you.
Okay. So very good afternoon to all of you. I think there are about 50, more than 50 people joined. So very good afternoon. And I really am thankful to MIT University as well as Professor Nitin Arora and the two of now, because Botiti Foundation runs as a family, so I'll call two daughters of Botiti Foundation. So thank you so much for inviting me and also helping me in my today's session. So I think without spending much time in these things, so let me start because that's a more important thing. So my today's talk will be mainly on my experience based. I'm not going to quote or do anything theoretical at all, because that always you can learn from the books and from the institute, such a good institute you belong to. But I'll be talking everything from my own experience, not on experiences of others also. So my whole the conversation will be based upon my own experiences, right? So in between, if anyone feels to get any clarification when I talk, so you're most welcome to interrupt me also, because I don't get interrupted, frankly speaking. So I'll be happy to respond immediately. But if after the session you have any queries, so definitely we'll spend some time, as Gurleen said, that we'll have some time for the Q&A session also. So I have made just a small presentation I made last night only. So that presentation is basically will help a bit you, but mainly to me, because it's not a detailed presentation at all. It's only bullet points, so that I know that I have to cover these points definitely. So for my support, as a support in my conversation, I have made that presentation. So can I share the screen with me? Yeah, my screen with me.
There is a button on the top with the arrow, vertical arrow.
Yeah, that I've seen.
Yes, so, you can upload and browse. You can browse, sir. On the right side, you will see a button, browse.
Yes.
And then upload the file, sir. So you are sharing the screen, or you want to, okay, your choice, sir.
Are you able to see?
We can see your folder, sir.
No, can't you see my screen? PPT
sir,
open?
We can see your, no, not PPT open. We can't see PPT, sir. We can see your folder that you have email that you opened up.
No. Okay, then.
So you can click on the PPT that is there on your mail and it will open, I
Do
think.
again once. It is opening. So I'll stop sharing and share again. Let me do it. So I have again, I want to share and this.
So click on browse. Yes, now we can see.
Now you can see the screen. Good.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, I think that's
So
okay
can
now.
you make it full screen? There is a slideshow button.
Already I've done it.
It's a slideshow. There is a button at the bottom.
Yeah, that
F.
already I did it, sir.
Okay, maybe it will come, sir. It will come with time. No problem. Just continue.
Maybe it's taking little time, I think.
No problem, sir. Please take time. You continue, sir.
No, but are you able to see screen at least? If not,
Yes, sir.
complete.
Yes, we can.
Oh,
We can
Yes.
see. We can see.
So, right. Thank you so much, sir. It's not playing. What's the problem? I don't know. Yeah, got it. So the topic of today's conversation is nurturing young hearts for social service towards better future. So basically all these words, what has been basically we chose for the topic are very, very important. Nurturing is a very important aspect in our life. Young heart, that's youth. So youth is definitely they have played, and in the modern era, they are going to play a very, very vital role in development of the society. Then social service, again, this is not only a topic which always touches my heart, but I think it is becoming the need of the day, social service. And towards better future, yes, everyone needs our future to be better. So basically what we are going to discuss is very, very important aspect. So first I am sharing a bit about Bodhiti Foundation, then I'll come to the topic and my experiences. So vision of Bodhiti Foundation is better education for underprivileged. Basically the concept is that we are not providing education. We are teaching the children who are already taking education from some school or any institution. So what we are trying to do is that due to certain reasons, I don't want to say much about that. We know our education system in India very well, and of course it's improving very fast in at least Delhi. But we try to take, I'll say, a sort of tuition to them so that wherever they feel difficulty, they can learn more and they can have better education without spending any cost. And our mission is ultimately what we want, better world for underprivileged through education and diffusion of knowledge. So it's not only education, but otherwise knowledge also. So later in my presentation, I'll discuss this also, that what other than education, where we emphasize. So I'll be, as I told you, that I'll be mainly.
Sir, is your slide moving, sir, or you're on the first slide?
No, it's moving.
Sir, maybe we are stuck at the first slide only on the talk by Deepak Nanda. So if you can.
Sir, if you want, you can send it to me. I can share the screen if you want.
So you can just share that if possible by WhatsApp or maybe by email. Please.
I'll just share. I'll just share.
We will do it, sir. No problem.
Yeah.
I think it is moving now. It is moving now.
It's moving?
Yes, I think we can see Ocean of Challenges slide.
Yeah, so that was
I
a
think
slide.
it's moving. Yes, maybe.
So shall I continue?
Now it's okay. Yes, sir, we can see.
So because I had actually pressed the escape button, so it came to the smaller slides.
No
so
problem.
Shall I do like this only?
Yeah, it's okay. I think we can see all. We all can see that.
I think it's not auto. It's not going to that slideshow mode actually. That's not.
No problem, sir. No problem. There is a
So
button on the thing.
I just changed the slide. That's fine, I think. Yeah, yeah. We have to manage like this only, whatever is there. So basically, in today's talk, I'll be discussing my experience in industrial sector. Then what conflicts within me I was having at that time, and my transition from that industrial sector, multinational companies, to social sector, and then my first experience in the social sector. And when I joined my first sector, I had a ocean of challenges. So there were n number of challenges I faced when I, after 15 years, all of a sudden entered from industrial sector to social sector. I was just sharing a few memories, past memories, that when I entered, few past memories. This is a scenario where a youth of villages were there, and many youth, they used to invite and come there, and we used to take their training session. This is a picture of actually, Pradhan poultry intervention when I did that. Another is that once I got a chance to work with forest department of a particular state. I'm not taking names here. I don't want to take. And these are the all, forest officers, forest people. So there it was a very nice session where I introduced low smoke cooking systems, stoves basically. And this picture is of again Pradhan, because my association with Pradhan, which is you might be knowing, it's one of the very good NGOs in India. So I have very long association with Pradhan. It's around around 20 years. So I have done a lot of work with Pradhan in their tussar silk sector, in their poultry sector, in their there is a training center, in their training center. So here in this picture, why I choose this picture is that during my training course, it was not there that for whom it is. Here I picture very junior officers, middle officers, as well as very top officers, like Mr. Anish is there, Anish Khetan is there. So everyone mixed, and all used to be so much dedicated to learn that I can't express in my words. So that's why I chose it. So first, let me go back to this slide. One moment. Industrial experience first, basically. So when I started my career in 1979, from that time onwards, I always wanted to join some NGO sector, something. And whenever I used to see anything happening, as you know that in the offices, in the industries, what all happens, because I have worked with Escorts, Birlas, Hero Honda Motors, SRF Nippon and so. So what I used to find lot of, I'm not taking particular name of a industry, but in general, I used to find many politics from which I wanted to be away. It was never of my taste at all. Then leg pulling, I found so much of leg pulling, and many people I found self-centered, for their benefit, they can do anything. So all these things basically used to disturb me a lot internally. And I used to think that why can't I change this? What I'm doing here? Can I do something to correct these systems? Can I alone do this? So that sort of basically conflicts within my mind. It always used to come. So ultimately, after about 14, 15 years, I decided that let me change it. And if I want to change the system here, do something. So let me first change myself. Let me be the starting point. So let me start from myself, how to make it a change. And that was the point that I started looking for a job in the NGO sector. What happened? In my mind, the image of an NGO sector was, frankly speaking, not good at all. What at that time I'm talking about, 84, 85 time I'm talking. But I used to know from media at that time, newspapers, radio, that NGOs are usually corrupt. They get money on the name of social cause. The owners of the directors of the NGOs, they eat up all money. They don't really spend where they should spend the money. So all sort of these things I used to listen. To the tune that somewhere I read once that it is less than 10% that what an NGO gets, funds get, what they actually spend for the social cause. So that was the hitch. That was the hitch. That I wanted to join an NGO, but no. I thought if NGOs are again corrupt, so I am going from same place. I'm leaving industry and coming to NGO sector, and there more corruption will be there. So sorry, what to do it? But the inner need was there that I need to do something. That was a time that I encountered a purely American NGO. That was International Development Enterprises at that time, and nowadays that is IDE India. So through some contact, I came to know that they have vacancy and they need someone seasoned person in mechanical engineering who can take care of their complete technical section all over manufacturers and everything who can continue. And I chose to join them, and I joined International Development Enterprises at that time. I never knew that my transition to the social sector journey will be so difficult, because I was a person who used to wear, necktie and suit and everything and culture of it, corporate culture. And the first day when I went there, I saw everyone in, shirt never tucked up in the pants or something, and wearing kurtas and this and that, someone wearing chappals and all these things I found. Although that was an American NGO and one of the directors was from America only, but different culture I found. Then I was very disciplined at that point. So when I was given a responsibility, I tried to be disciplined. And if I am disciplined, I wanted the persons I am working with, they also must be disciplined. But that was not happening. So what happened? Although I started as a work, very successfully working, but within 3 months, I gathered many oppositions for me. So to the young boys and girls, I want to tell you that you don't have to be afraid of all these things. Never to be afraid of these challenges. So after 3 months, there came a point that I thought it is only 3 months. So I have spoiled my 3 months. Let me go back to my old companies and leave this social sector. This is not my cup of tea like this, because I want discipline. I want to do something. I want to keep targets. I am telling do it in 3 days, and they are so lazily taking 2 weeks. So what is all this? No, it won't work. But then, because inner things were there that no, I have to do social work also. Then I decided, let me accept the challenges. And again, the same thing which I just shared with all of you, that let this be starting from myself. Let it be me to bring change in IDE, International Development Enterprises, and never to give up. Let me take it as a challenge and be successful. I have to be successful. I will not go back to industrial sector again. Of course, I had to mingle with them a little bit, but to my values, I never compromise. If discipline is there, that is there. If work is to be done in time, that is to be done in time. In that, I never compromised. You know what happened? After a year, they had to select a candidate for outstanding performance all over India for international development enterprises, and I was awarded that award. And that was the award basically which made me to build up my own confidence that yes, I can be successful in social sector also, and I can really do what I want to do. I want to nurture basically young hearts, young people. I'll be able to do it. And now no one can stop me basically. So that sort of feeling came to me. I said, don't give up, do or die, be here, do whatever little you can do. I never had any big plans that I want to reach this stage, that stage. I said, whatever be there, even changing a single life, that is okay for me, for my beginning. So, my dear young boys and girls, please note it down that initially keep targets, very low targets, which can be achieved, because the achievement in low targets is going to give you a lot of energy to move forward and go for bigger targets. So make targets definitely, but make targets which can be achieved. And smaller targets are enough. Absolutely no problem in smaller targets, right? So let's do like this. Next, I like to share
So this was like before you started your Bodhi Foundation. This was your like transition time.
Before. Actually, Bodhi Foundation was founded in 2016, 11th August 2016. So this is all I am talking about 25 years back, 20 years back. Story what I'm telling you, right? So now I like to share my experience-based basically learning, so that the young people can know that how to choose their career actually, and from where to start. So first I'm going to share my experience with large multinational social sector, because as all of you know that I work with UNDP, with the subsidiaries of World Bank and APCTD United Nations. So all are basically very big organizations. So when I'm sharing my experience, so it's not for a particular social sector. I am talking just in general what I observed to find it. The larger social sectors are mainly definitely very successful. They are definitely making impact in the society. Definitely making impact in the society. But being very large multinationals, I think it's not at all difficult for them to fetch funds for their working. Even suppose there is no corruption, there is nothing, but their expenses are so high that the amount of funds, which because they are bigger, they have to on employees and on their basically, I'll say lodging, boarding, travel, their salaries, lot of money. So if I compare that money with what the poor person is getting for whom they are working, so that ratio is not at all justified. I tried many places. I am a person who do a lot of analysis, and my analysis are only figures based basically. It's not that I think so that is there. I always keep figures in front of me. So when I might be wrong also if other people, because so many people are listening to me, but it's my feeling that whenever I analyzed, I found there is a huge gap between the ratio. So of course, they are changing the society. They are working very nicely. Their impact is very good. But the ratio of spends is not appropriate. So that is why, again, I like to put up my learning, and I like to definitely tell my young students here that it's a very good to join a large multinational organization, social sector. It's very good thing. But as far as possible, if you really want to learn something, do something, join those multinationals at a later stage. Don't start your career from there. The reason is that suppose we start our career from there. So what we will learn, what we will understand, that this is the social sector world. That is not there actually. That lies somewhere else. So please be careful. Decision is yours. I can only guide you with my experience. That of course working there is good, but please take some time. Join that at some later stage. The best is to start your career from a small or mid-level social sector in this sector. So here, although I worked with a few small and mid-level social sector, but I don't have any hesitation to take the name of the organization which I am referring to in my today's talk. So that is Pradhan. Because my association with Pradhan is, I started my first project with Pradhan. That was an All India study for their Tussar Silk project. They wanted to know that for how many years, 20, 25 years, they can work in this sector. So that was something where I had to go to all India basis, study and give a report. Then my intervention was in their poultry initiative, which is one of their main poultry farm is their main basically what they are doing. And then side by side, my intervention was in their training center, which is in Kesla, Madhya Pradesh. So it was a long association, and today also I keep on meeting the Pradhan people. So experience there gave me insight that yes, if you are fair enough, you can do much thing. And what Pradhan is doing, it is something very big things they are doing. You know, of course, they hire cream in the social sector. But what is their concept? What they do is they train them in social sector, and later on, if they want to start their own NGO, they support it and they feel happy. It's not that we have taught this person and why he or she is leaving us. No, they support it. They say it's good. You grow. If you grow, we are happy. So such a good concept. And working with Pradhan was, although it's not very small, it's a reasonably good size of NGO, one of the very good NGOs. But the culture there is really an NGO culture, really a social culture. So if you work in such an organization, I don't say that work in Pradhan only, but such an organization where you find the real social culture, so that will help you to start your career in a big way, in a right way, basically I'll call, in a right way, that will be there. In poultry, I like to tell you that how we can accept challenges. One day I was sitting with some senior person. So he told me, very respected person, he told me, Deepak, we are doing this quality management services and systems for the corporate sector and all big things. Can you do something for the poultry sector? I said, I can do. You know what he told me? He told me that is run by the illiterate women in the village. And you have so many formats, forms, and procedures, all things. How will you do it? Can you do it now? Can you do it? I said, yes, I can do it. I took a challenge. I was given a free hand. There. I started using pictorial things and other things. I stayed for more or less for 1 year. I was working in Orcha village. Did such a fantastic work that they replicated the same all over India. And from them, through them, I got many references because people used to see the system there. They used to ask who did it, and they used to give my name and phone number, and I used to be contacted by many people. So there, it was not that I did something very good for youngsters. They were illiterate women, but definitely nurturing those women because they used to feel so happy because they saw change in their poultry farms. They saw change in their earnings. So, I mean, through one initiative, we were able to nurture so many lives. I see towards the watch also, so I need to be a bit quick. So third, I'll discuss about my intervention in government sector. It will really not be justified for me to take a particular name of government department or something. But
Sir,
I had...
Deepak ji, if you can also talk about the Bodhi Foundation also, because the time is running out. So if you can talk about a little bit about that, some experiences, some challenges and all that.
Yeah. I can skip this then, right?
Please.
Here I am quoting my mentor and a great philosopher, Daisaku Ikeda. The essential responsibility of education is to foster in the minds of youth a love of humanity and the spirit to dedicate oneself for the sake of the people and for society. So my mentors, this quote inspired me a lot that I must do something for education. So here was the first point that I started thinking of opening an NGO, Bodhi Foundation, and start working for education in the education field actually. Around the same time, I had a very good meeting with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. We had gone there to discuss about a project in adult education. But after listening to all presentation, when we asked him, sir, what do you feel by adult education, our project? So he smiled and he told us that you people sound to be very genuine people. If you want to work for the society, you train the teachers of primary section. He said you train the teachers of primary section so that they are able to provide good education. And after that, forget. If the basics of a students are good from the beginning, from the nursery KG, and for 3-4 years, they are nurtured like this, then nothing can stop the progress of the nation. So when he said, okay, we will do like this, then he said one more thing. He said, it is not possible for you to start immediately training the teachers. So better start with educating the youngsters to build up their foundation, and slowly you move towards training the teachers also. And I'm proud to say that in Bodhi Foundation at present we are doing both the things. So So these two people, Dr. Daisaku Ikeda and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, it was basically their help to me and society that we were able to form Bodhi Foundation. So about Bodhi Foundation, let me tell you a little. It was born on 11th August 2016. The state is non-profit Section 8 company under Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. Its age as on today is 4 years, 5 months, 20 days. And presently, we have a wide family of more than 700 family members. And average time to form a bond between parents and newborn is 20 to 30 minutes. There is only one interview we take and the person becomes our family member. Just 20-30 minutes. So we have grown from 4 members to a happy family of more than 250 members as the faculty and other I'm talking about without students. So coming to Bodhi Foundation is enrolling for a lifetime membership. So Fevicol ka jod hai, chutega nahi. Once you are here, it means for lifetime you are with Bodhi Foundation. And the cost of this lifelong membership is only eternity. We have now at present in Bodhi Foundation, frankly speaking, when I was making this PPT last night, I was also surprised to see the growth. I didn't have much idea that so much of growth, that we have 2 directors, advisors, team of advisors, associates, because we have collaboration with some NGOs, some orphanage and some institutions. Then we have teaching faculty, we have HR and training department, we have quality management service department, we have web designing, social media, content writing, graphic designing. Overall, we have about 10 types of different openings with us in Bodhi Foundation. So we are growing consistently, because when we started this education project in September 2018, so first academic year, we were teaching till class 7th offline. Then session 2019-2020 till 8th, we added 1 class that was offline. And then from June to present, we again added 1 class, 1st to 9th. And from April 2021, we'll be teaching till class 10th. So one by one, very consistently, we started increasing our classes. We teach class 1 to class 5 all subjects, emphasizing on strengthening their foundation. Class 6, 7, 8, we teach 3 main subjects, mathematics, science, and English. And class 9, we teach mathematics and science. We are already in 8 states. So we have tree of education already sown in 8 states. Delhi,
so how are
Haryana.
you teaching? So how are you teaching nowadays online? Like you're teaching online, or it is going offline nowadays during pandemic
it's
time?
online only.
It's
we
online?
are using Google Meet app and all is online.
So all the
Actually,
teachers from your NGO, they come online and they teach it.
Yeah. The main thing is due to shortage of time here. Otherwise, I would have explained that how we were able to start this online, because this was a great challenge, I tell you. Big challenge for us to teach slum children online, because they have limited availability of smartphones and data and everything, and number of
That's why
problems are there.
yes, sir. Yeah, they are in slum, yes, sir.
Yes, so that's a big problem. But how we sorted it out, I can't say, because due to shortage of time, because I have too much to share actually. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
why I'm going a bit faster. Okay. This is very, this slide is very, very, close to my heart. I don't want to use the word challenge. As far as my knowledge, no other organization in India has comparatively these values. First is family culture at workplace. So in Bodhi Foundation, it's not at all formal culture. Myself, other director, other senior persons, advisors, they all are available 24/7. Everyone feels that Bodhi Foundation belongs to them. It's not I am saying. You can check with any of the Bodhi Foundation members. They own Bodhi Foundation. They are free to do mistakes, no problem, and learn. So everything is very, very open. That is why they are very free to talk to me, free to talk to anyone. So that sort of culture we have built up in Bodhi Foundation, and that because these three values, I decided after my 15 years of experience in social sector that I must have these values. Second is empowering youth. So we are giving lot of responsibility, lot of authority, and lot of guidance to youth. You know, approximately 80 to 85% of Bodhi Foundation family members are of the age group 18 to 24. So it's a youth organization. We have senior persons to handhold them, to guide them, to support them. But it is actually run. I only support. I say, no, you do it. Even if some decision is taken, it should come from you. If I find something is to be changed, okay, I'll change, but no, you take it, take responsibility. See, an intern who comes for 6 months, I give them experience of taking interview also. Just imagine. That's all. Because final, okay, I'll do, but at least they'll get a feel how to grow. And then the third one value, which I have written, empowering women, is something may surprise you that we have more than 90% young women working with us of the same youth group. And still we are running so successfully because we have our values, we have our systems, we are very particular about discipline. So few things are there where we don't compromise at all. Now coming to a common topic for which today's discussion is very, very important. That's why social service. Here again, I have quoted my mentor Daisaku Ueda, that real joy lies in both ourselves and others becoming happy together. So meaning of this is basically, I alone cannot be happy. Happiness is something that we have to become happy together. I can't be happy if a person in front of me is not happy. So happiness is something because we all are interconnected. So because I cannot become happy alone, so we must create a cause which makes all others also happy. So again, that is my responsibility to create such causes to make everyone happy. And what is the best solution for this is again social sector. Because in social sector, my focus will be working for others to make others happy. So me, I always know that I have to be happy. I can do hit and trial, do anything to become happy. But once this thing comes into my mind that I have to make others also happy. So this is something where the social sector and working in social sector helps. If we are supposed in a way we are better than others, so it's not that I should spend my life like this. Best is I should hold hand together and bring everyone along with me. So my strength will be doubled. It's not going to reduce. So that should be basically. The next question comes that who can do social work? Because I very strongly feel
sir,
that
if you allow, sir, I think we have just 5 minutes remaining. So if you allow, we can take some questions, sir, because then the time will pass out, sir.
Okay. Let me. That's fine. Give me only 1 or 2 minutes more, because
okay.
Here I'll go very quickly because I made it with my experience.
That there were many questions that you already have answered in your talks, which we are thankful. But we have still just wanted to ask few more questions and then maybe, sir.
So shall I end this here or take 2 minutes?
As per your wish, sir, maybe we have 5 more minutes remaining.
So I'll very fast go through these slides only so that I'm able to convey what I wanted to convey, because that's very important. The heart of a social worker, number one, is cherish each individual. That is, no one is born perfect. Everyone is learning. Inherent potential exists in everyone. There is no hierarchy in human race, and it is the heart that matters. So from heart, if you are social oriented, that's the best way. And second, I want to say that take ownership. Who is responsible? I am responsible. So I am always unstoppable. So obstacles, whatever I get, those are basically opportunities for me to grow. And we always should share our learning. So here is again a quote: a great human revolution in just a single individual will help achieve a change in the destiny of the nation, and further can even enable a change in the destiny of all humankind. That is from my mentor Daisaku Keita. So who is that one person? Let me become that person, because that is going to start from me. And in the last, to bring peace in the society. Peace within brings peace without. Peace is the ultimate goal, because we all want to be happy and peaceful. Focus on creating values, not on the rewards, and be happy and make others happy. Thank you so much, and sorry for taking time. So now, question.
Yes, thank you, sir. I am sure my two students, Reet and Gurleen, are in safe hands. They're in a wonderful NGO they have joined. And I'm sure since this is a beginning for them and they have a full semester to go ahead and do wonderful work that you have discussed already. And sir, just few things, how this pandemic have made something new ideas come out of your NGO, because you were.
I want to go out of this screen sharing. Can I go out?
Yes, please. Just put the cross. Put the cross on the top. There is a cross on the top. On the same thing where you were having the arrow button. So वहाँ पे से cross आ रहा होगा.
नहीं, वो तो है ही नहीं, उधर आ ही नहीं रहा actually.
Let me do it, sir. Is it done?
No. I've given you control. Now you can do it, please.
Okay. Done, sir. So you have to. There is a button on the top where you there's a down arrow and a cross. Just cross that. Down arrow and a cross on the top side. जहाँ से आपने upload किया था ना, sir? There was a vertical arrow.
Yes. Got it.
Bus. Now okay. Now gone.
Yeah.
Now gone.
Yeah. Now the question is that what this pandemic
like how. Yes, how pandemic has made something new coming out of your NGO, like what kind of new innovations or way of serving society, how they have brought some new ideas.
See, at few places we used to think limitations, and it brought us beyond the limitation. It reassured us that there is no limitation, because when we used to teach offline, we had only 40 faculty. Today we have more than 100 faculty. How much we have grown. And we always used to think that if you want to, help the underprivileged, you have to go to their places. You have to sit there and teach. You have to do meetings like this only. We could never think that we can have online classes also. And frankly speaking, from March, April, May, 3 months, we were just struggling that how can we teach online these poor children? And in 3 months, we got only 25 students whose parents were having smartphone. That too in Delhi only, from our old students, and see the change from Delhi.
So how did you manage that they got smartphones or maybe laptops to learn, and how do you manage that idea?
Number one is we changed our criteria of underprivileged. When we used to teach offline, we have a few criteria for underprivileged, that the income of parents should be this, all sort of these things, government school and going. But when we understood that it's not easy, we first revised our criteria. For online classes, now our criteria is anyone who is going to school, studying between class 1 to class 9th, whose parents cannot afford tuition. Those who can afford, they can get tuitions. Whose parents cannot afford tuition, very simple. And they have access to either mobile phone or in a society combined together a laptop, or they can go to NGO, because we have collaborations with NGO institutions also. And like in Bangalore, we have a collaboration with orphanage so that students come together and teach. So we changed our
Right.
criteria, and that's
Okay.
and it's not easy. We still basically the biggest challenge at present with us is getting more students.
Right.
That's the where I have requested, both these students, Reet and Gurleen, that you have to help in this area, and they
Right.
have promised that they are going to help us.
They will do that. Reet and Gurleen, beta, you have some questions in your mind?
Yes, sir. So one question, like, sir, you told us about your entire journey. So, what was that one, major motivating factor to carry on with all different, innovations and challenges, etc. So, what was that, motivating factor that was there, sir?
Everything depends upon my heart, and I shared in the slide also, I am unstoppable. My heart should be good, and I have to believe that I can change the destiny of the entire world. No one can stop me. There is no limitation. Actually, we all have potential. We don't bring it out. So when we start believing that, yes, I can do this thing, no one can stop us. So we have to keep on moving. I have learned at least one more thing, that usually the difficult path takes us to very, very, good destinations. It gives you a lot of experience in life, and then you are more successful in life if you choose difficult path, not very easy way to do. Like nowadays, please pardon me, youth want that make money in an instance, that I should start selling of these many lakhs of rupees, this and that. No, choose a path, slow, steady, and from ground, then rise. So that rise will be basically permanent for you. So that's my basically learning in life, I'll say.
Gurleen, you have a question, beta?
Yes, sir. So one question, sir, one experience that you can never forget, like working in the social sector. So one thing you have done that you can never forget.
Yes, there is an experience when I used to work with international development enterprises. So we used to basically go to villages and then tell them that they have a scarcity of water, and the women has to go to so many far places for fetching water, and we can arrange small, well or something here, or dig a pipe and start with hand pump or something. All this technology we used to think. And initially when we used to go to the villages, 3 or 4 visits were spent like they will not like us. They will think that from very good organization they have come and they are going to fetch our land and everything, and they'll make some big building. And they never used to allow us to enter to their villages. But what happened? Later stage when they found that okay, we are really working for them, so the all concept used to change. And I am telling you incidents which is of the time of very beginning, when in a village some change started happening, that they started respecting us, that they are the right people and they are going to help us. So I was teaching to a women group how to make a filter out of a bamboo using a knife and all this cutting basically for filtration from bamboo. And there was a very minor cut in my finger. So these type of cuts, we usually put our finger in our mouth for 2 minutes, suck it, and blood stops. For them, I was so important. I know how they are living. I mean, in what circumstances. But my small cut, when I wanted to continue this, experiment, they did not allow me to do it. And one of the persons was holding my finger. They said, please come to doctor. We have a doctor in our village. So I really begged that, leave me, nothing is going to happen. It will stop, nothing is there. But they never left it. They said, no, we don't want to lose a person like you coming from here. So it has, hurted your finger. No, we can't allow. So really they took me to a nearby clinic type of thing, and he had a band-aid in my finger. Then only they were satisfied. So this is basically give and take. if the other person in front of you understands you well, so how they respect you, how the society respects you. I know because we were teaching in area very near to my house, and sometimes this battery rickshaw wala, I never recognized. So he was the parent of a child. I said कि कितने पैसे लोगे? सब बैठ जाओ. I said कितने पैसे लोगे? नहीं बैठो. I said मैं ऐसे नहीं बैठता. Please tell me कितने पैसे लोगे? He said मैं हाथ जोड़ता हूँ बैठ जाओ. I said okay, whatever he will charge, I'll give him. So when I was sitting in the rickshaw, he told me, sir आप तो हमारे बच्चों को पढ़ाते हैं ना? He was not ready to charge me, so I gave what I usually give. Any other questions?
Right. Sir, I think due to paucity of time, we have many questions. Audience, anybody have a question? Maybe one question you want to ask? Anybody from the audience? Maybe you can raise hand and maybe you can ask question, or you want to just open the mic and ask question, please. Anybody can open the mic and ask a question, or you want to raise hand and then you want to ask a question, because time is very short. Anybody? So because time is very short, anybody want to ask question? Okay. Gurleen beta, Reet, will kindly give vote of thanks, and it was wonderful listening to you, sir.
So
Thank
before
you so
that,
much.
I'm really thankful to, all of you here, and even the audience also who listened to me for 45 minutes, 1 hour. So thank you so much from my side, and I look forward to many more association with Amity University and your this happy wing.
Thank you, sir. I think we have one person, Lakshay. You want to ask question, please? Maybe you can open the mic or camera and ask the question, please.
Yeah. So I'm Ritu. Actually, I'm using his camera phone.
Okay, ma'am. Please, you can open the mic.
I just
camera
wanted to ask about the admission process and how to get admission, how to enroll.
Admission for
this
NGO.
NGO, yeah.
You're talking about the internship, or others are basically working with the NGO. So in number one, in our website, we have a form to be filled up for the volunteers. One can fill up the form. Then other social media, we keep on having advertisement in all the social medias, including LinkedIn and Facebook and everyone. And number third, we are connected with Internshala. If you go to Internshala, more or less 80% of the time or 90% of the time, you'll find one or the other advertisement in the Internshala for us, because we continuously need interns. So through Internshala also one can apply.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, Reet, kindly give the vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. So we would like to thank Deepak sir for his valuable time, for teaching us such good values and telling us about us, like how good we do and we receive it back. And that's all in our heart matters, right? So obstacles are opportunities for us to grow. And as sir said, let's all do good stuff. So thank you, Deepak sir, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And I would also like to thank our professor, Nitin sir, for guiding us and giving us this opportunity to conduct this event. And so this would not have been possible without your support, as it's the first of many events we have conducted. So thank you so much, Nitin sir, and Deepak sir also. It was really informative, and thank you so much, sir. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Same here. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Deepak sir, once again. And it was nice having you, sir. And within the short interaction that we had recently, and I think we have reached to a first milestone of interaction. Yes. And my students are honored that they will be working under you for the next this full semester. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
And
bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Those who have joined for certificates, those who will be looking, they can maybe they can take my number. I have given my mobile number and the email ID. I don't know if you are able to see the chat box or no. I have given my email ID in case you can see the chat box. Otherwise, you can just send me your names and the email ID at my mobile number. It's 844-796-8032. I will repeat again, 844-796-8032. Though we have the attendance list from this MS Team category, but still if you want to send your email ID so that we can send you certificate by email, please send me your email IDs by this. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Gurleen and Reed. Fantastic job done. Thank you so much. And the work starts. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.